What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about LTCN, BCHG, and GSOL, all at the request of disgruntled Canadian investor and Paul O. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get going, you guys. Let's talk about this. No need to dilly-dally. LTCN, beautiful bounce. 11.05 right now, above average volume. One more day left in the week to go. Let's see how it finishes. You're down 26% this week overall. But right off the 123 moving average, that's like basically where you tipped, right? If we look at this for what it is overall, high to low, not really anywhere, to be completely fair, and that's okay. Just seeing if it did correspond. Low to high here, right in your 0.5 area. Not a common area to find significance, but I do say if you find significance on the 0.5, expect significant results. I don't believe you're going to your 61869. It could happen. Those targets are still there at 709 to 559, but you held the area and you went a little bit past what I think was desired, but you held the area just below $10 there. Right at a low point here, at the lowest you went to 925. Held the desired area, held this area of support back here, previous support, as current support. Kind of in this area, but not really over here, so just maybe more recently speaking. Daily RSI, oversold beyond belief. Literally, like, just so low, man. I think I did this the last time I talked about it, maybe. Right? Here you were at your low point. That was like your relative low point throughout this whole consolidation phase before moving lower, but you were in the midst of a bear market. And then you've never actually seen this low of a reading ever since then, right? So I definitely feel like you are probably at the low of this consolidation phase, but this time we're in a bull market. I would expect that the reversal of this trend, that the bounce that you experience from here would lead you to breaking out of this, but to the upside. And you would probably see a move overall that takes you up to like $88 to $162. I'm alluding to some of the questions I think that a lot of you probably have, which is, are you going to get another opportunity to buy at lower prices? Is this the real bounce? We thought this was the real bounce. We thought this was the ticket right here. It's going to go up. And then back here, we were thinking it was a bounce back here, right? Just all these different areas that made sense. Is this the real area to find support? And it's hard to say, right? It's definitely hard to say. But with how the markets are reacting right now across the board, LTC itself even, right, had a day a little bit yesterday, right? It moved up 9.25%. LTCN moved up 16% in correspondence to that. I'm very confident that LTC has found its low. I'm very confident there. I'm just not as confident on LTCN, and LTC still could move lower. I wouldn't even be surprised if it moved lower than these closing lows here, but just not lower than this low here. But LTCN could go lower. It absolutely could. That might not be its actual low. What's hard about LTCN is it doesn't give you the most profound candles to bounce off of, right? I guess that one's a nice bottoming candle there. Not so much here, not so much over here. Kind of there, that could be construed as one. Right there it was, for sure. I don't know. That definitely doesn't look like a bottoming candle to me, but that doesn't mean that it can't be the bottom. The 1 hour is showing hidden bearish divergence. Let's be real. At an area that you would expect to find resistance. Let's be real. Same thing with the 3 hour. I can't help but think there might be one last little drive down, but how low does it go? Right, you're at 11.05 now. Does it go to 10.30? Does it go to 10.60? Does it go just below $10? Does it go just below your current low? Like that's hard to say. So I think the best thing to do right now for anybody interested in LTCN is to consider what is to come after this zone, okay? You're at $11 now. $88, $162. Those are the minimum expected target areas. And likely you would see that happen. You'd see those prices achieved, if not by the end of this year, sometime in the beginning of next year, but probably by the end of this year if we're expecting LTC to take off. And I do think it will. I think that LTC will be above these highs by the end of this year. So that would definitely reflect well for LTCN. At least we would assume so, right? So again, beyond the is it going up, is it going down, beyond just like the standard TA stuff, I think this is a moment to reflect on your position in LTCN, whoever you are watching this, listening to this. Not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I was looking to buy LTCN and I had the slightest inkling at all that it could go down below $9, and that was it, and then it goes up. Or, maybe it goes up a little bit higher, but then it comes back down, whatever, does something like that. Maybe it's just going to run up. The answer, the thought in my head comes up the same every single time, is that who cares? It's a perfect area to buy. It's literally a perfect area to buy. If I had no LTCM but I wanted to buy down here, I would lose no sleep buying at this exact price, even buying $1 or $2 higher than its current price. And I mean that. If I had no skin in the game. If I have a lot of LTCN, if I've been investing in LTCN since back here, since up here and throughout this whole range, and even a little bit here, maybe even a little bit here. If I've been investing in LTCN and I have some, not coming from a perspective of not having any, then I wouldn't feel as inclined to get in here. Then I might be a little bit, okay, let's wait. It might come back down to like $10. I'll catch like a 10% discount. Maybe it goes a little bit lower and I can catch more of that. My patience would be there. But if I just sold down here, if I just sold up here and I'm trying to catch the exact bottom, man, this is it. Like, this is the opportunity right now. And it might not be the exact bottom, but it might be. At the same time, it really might be. So it's hard to say as far as the day-to-day stuff goes. But week to week, month to month, by the end of this year, you guys, you're going to see like an 8x or more in price growth. 8x, that right there would make it like a 16x, 15x, something like that. And absolutely, you could go higher. But it all depends on what the underlying asset does. That's really the truth of it. So, anyways, that's LTCN, BCHG. I hope, and here's the deal. Here's something else I want to talk on. And I know this video is at a different tone than it normally is, right? I'm a little bit more chill. Let's get unchill for a second, okay? If yesterday, not this day, right? Because this is today. In crypto, this is yesterday, Thursday. It's Friday in crypto, right? You look at the Litecoin chart, it says Friday, right? Or, sorry, pardon my language. It says Friday right there. But because this is stocks, it's not. So when I say yesterday, I mean this day, Wednesday. Yesterday, if you were thinking that Grayscale sucks, it's over, these things are broken, they just keep diverting away from the underlying asset, what was I thinking buying anywhere in this zone? What was I thinking buying here? What was I thinking buying here? I should just get out. If that was you yesterday, but today, you're like, I knew it, I'm so glad I didn't sell, or man, it sucks I sold a little bit, but at least I have this still. I believe in it again. Like I can see it happening. If this is you, if this sounds like you, I'm going to poke fun at you for a second, okay? I'm going to be dad. That's not good, okay? Understand you're an emotional creature, and if you've acted on it, you've passed the test of not acting on your emotions, right? If the only action that people should be making down here that's appropriate would be buying. It could drop 20% from here. The only action that's appropriate is to buy. Certainly nobody should be selling at these levels, but people are. People absolutely are. And it's okay. We all make mistakes. But again, I'm going to be dad right now. All you Grayscale people who are holding LTCN, judge yourself. How did today feel, this 16% day after just an onslaught of downside? Are you convinced that that was the low? Are you just so ready to believe that's the low? And then the day before you were so ready to believe that this is the end of times and that things are going to zero? If that's you, make a mental note that when you feel this way, you should not make financial decisions, okay? That is financial advice, okay? Don't make financial decisions based on emotions. 1 out of 100 times, it just might work. But those other 99 out of 100 times are going to crush your dreams, okay? They're going to crush more than that. You got a set of balls, you're not going to have them after that, man. It's gone. Lady balls too, man. But right now the ball, so to speak, is in the buyer's court. This is a perfect area to buy. And if you look at it for what it is, I mean, I don't see how it could be anything other than a golden opportunity to buy before this next run up occurs. So what are you waiting for? You waiting for me to tell you it's going to go down $2 more? Maybe. $1.50, 50 cents? Maybe. It could just as easily just flourish out of here. We could start seeing weeks like this again, or like this again, like genuinely. I'm not just saying that for an optimistic perspective. I genuinely mean that, right? You very well could be done going lower. It's premature. It's too premature, even with the 16% pump today, to call this a low. But it makes sense that it would be. Crypto's looking great. These trusts literally are the most oversold that you've ever seen them. Furthest diverged away from their assets that they've been all cycle and to the negative side effect. 2272 extension hit. Decent area to find support. Could go to its 2618. But whether this was the low or that's the low doesn't matter. And I guess that's a personal question that everybody needs to answer themselves. But I'm gonna move on to BCHG here. I won't spend as much time on that. But just, again, I think the most important thing that moments like this can teach us about ourselves is that you either do or you don't act poorly in correspondence to your emotions, right? And for those of you that haven't acted poorly, congratulations. But guess what? It's going to happen again. Not the acting poorly part. Maybe it never does. But these emotions, these doubts, these questions that a lot of you have had that are investing in Grayscale specifically, they're going to arise again. So it's not the last time that you're done being tested. But what I can say is if you've passed the test of not acting on your emotions, of looking into the abyss, the depths of the prices as they plunge lower, and you look at it with your knife and fork in hand, and you got your bib on, you're ready to eat and get some more. You're scraping the bottom of your coin jar, going out into your car, scraping up quarters there. Whatever you can to invest in these projects. If you're looking at it like that, you're doing that now, it only gets easier to do. It's not going to be your last time that you're tested. Will you buy the abyss or will you sell it? Will you just not do anything and just sit on your hands? It only gets easier as you continue to not act or make the appropriate act. The incorrect action, whoever made it down here for BCHG or LTCN, let it be a lesson that you can grow from. Because those incorrect actions are also easier to make as you keep doing them. But once you flip it, it really does get easier. So congratulations to all the people that held through. Further congratulations to all the people who bought and they seized the opportunity down here, or any of these weeks. It might not feel like it, but congratulations to the people that bought here as well at the basic lows of this whole consolidation phase, excluding this last week here. And condolences to anybody that sold. And I say that, you never know how much lower it can go, but it's hard. I don't know. I would just say if you made your decisions based on emotions, I'm worried about your finances. And I shouldn't be because I'm not a financial advisor. It doesn't pertain to me. But anyways, let's move on. BCHG, where it is here, would make perfect sense to go back to its 382. But this thing doesn't seem to care about your 382 except for this one time here, right? Low to high, 382 perfectly. Low to high here. It didn't even hit the 236. What is that? That's crazy. And then high to low here. Found support in nowhere's land. Kind of found support on the 236, but then again here in the middle of nowhere. If we take this to the most relative low that we had, you're down in your 61869 zone. Perfect area to find support. This next relative low, kind of in the middle of nowhere as well. Ping-ponging between the 382 and the 0.5. Nothing really to go off of. It's not conclusive evidence enough that this is the low. But Bitcoin Cash, its underlying asset, BCHG's, is looking really good. And it did have a positive close yesterday. It moved up 13%. BCHG didn't even move up that much, did it? It only moved up 0.1%. So again, this disparity, this difference, this divergence between the underlying asset and the Grayscale trust itself, it can only persist so long. Just like premiums can. It's still on a premium, but that premium is being discounted. That can only persist for so long, and especially in the face of bullish price action, it can only persist for so long. BCH itself, I'm somewhat confident that this is the low. I actually really do like that as the low, because from a low point here to a high point here, you closed above your 618. Generally speaking, with this look, I would expect that you hit your extended areas before ever getting back above your 618. But the fact that you did get above your 618 speaks volumes to me. It would speak higher volumes and be more certain if we close today above the 618. However, if we reject and close back down here, we stand a chance of seeing a lower low, probably down to like 250 to 216. If we close above here, if we close above the 618 at 344, well, that really could be our low. It looks more and more valid that that is. As we get above the 382, as we get above the 236, it becomes more and more valid. And where's BCH going to go? You know, even if BCHG, even if BCH is chilling, doing its thing, figuring it out, maybe it's just continuing to move up, where's BCHG going to go, right? It's probably not going to go too much lower, if at all lower. And it's hard to say. And that's where I would kind of reflect back to what I was saying about LTCN, right? What's your position? Do you have none? Are you looking to get in but you have none? And you're waiting right here. Like, look at this thing for what it is. You're going to wait right here to get some, and you've been waiting this whole time. You've been waiting this whole, like, who knows how long you've been waiting. You're going to wait right here. I don't know if that's a good idea, but don't let my words fool you. I can be wrong. It's at $6 now. It could go below $5, and that'd be a hell of a discount. But just for my own personal opinion, if I had zero of this BCHG and I wanted to buy, this is a golden opportunity right here. Regardless of what it does in the days, who cares? Over the weeks, over the months, it's going higher, especially if the underlying asset goes higher. If you haven't seen my BCH video that I made today, this one, I think it might be worth going for a watch if you want a little bit more of an in-depth analysis on BCH there, on what I think it's going to do by the end of the year and what that could mean for this asset. You're at 609. The next area you need to get above is 753. And really, the key area that I think you need to get above is $9.40. You get above there, very convinced that that's your low. Not only that, you're probably gearing up for prices that could literally send you to new all-time highs and beyond. So there's that. And then GSOL, to finish this up for Paul, it's not a USD pair. I mean, it is, but that's not what you have to type in. GSOL having a hell of a week. Wow. Dropped off a cliff and came back up to the cliff. GSOL's levitating, y'all. Let's see. Weekly RSI, very bullish, absurdly bullish. It's insane. Get out of here. No, stay. It's bullish. Daily RSI, looking bullish as well, although neutral but bullish. I don't mind it. Being overbought, no problem. You hate being oversold, clearly. Area that you found support several times back here, you're finding it now, you're a little bit lower, whatever. Bearishly postured, neutral but bearishly postured, let's just be fair, but the weekly looks really good. Let's see how the coming days go to end this week and to go into next week. From a high point here to a low point here, you know, I said this yesterday in my Solana video whenever I was talking about Solana, because I've been calling for, you know, periodically, not constantly, but here and there, calling for prices throughout this whole range for Solana to go back below $100. And, you know, again, I would suggest watching that video, sold to $1,000 by end of year, if you want a more in-depth analysis on this. But just all in all to say, if this wasn't the move that was going to get Solana below $100, it's not going below $100. I can't see it going anywhere out of this accumulation zone or this consolidation phase. I can't see it going anywhere but up. So you just hit the low point and you're up this high already on the week. You've got 3 days left to close. GSOL, I'm very confident you found your low. That, to me, by all definitions, looks exactly like a fake out. The last time you faked out, or I guess like you critically dumped in a very short amount of time, you had a very fast recovery, as you have now. I think the difference between this time and this time is that you are at the precipice of breaking out of this zone, where this time you were just beginning it, right? So GSOL, exciting things to look forward to. New all-time highs absolutely are in your near future. Perhaps more exciting than BCHG or LTCN right now. I, of course, like BCHG more, but LTCN could outperform, especially if LTC does do the unthinkable. Maybe the not so unthinkable around these parts, but for the most of the market, the unthinkable, breaking out to new all-time highs. I could really see that being good, especially if LTCN is still in its bull market while LTC is breaking this. I could see that be really good for the Grayscale Trust. But GSOL, in the meantime, you're at 440. Your next target is at $800 to $1,200, and that's likely. You'll likely hit this area by the end of the year, if not like by the end of this month or next month, man. And you don't have to stop there. You could go higher. Absolutely, like targets up to 2,600, 4,000 even are on the table. As crazy as that sounds, man, and it sounds crazy, they could be where you go by the end of this next move. From a high to a low here, you went to your 2886. That was your high, 2886. High to a low here, went up to your 200 level. Deep extensions both times. High to low here, 2,000 would be your 200. That was your minimum target. So prices above $1,000 I don't think are far-fetched at all for this thing by the end of its next move, let alone prices that could be all the way up at 4K. No cap. No cap at all, man. Why you capping? Anyways, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Yes, I would expect that most of these look like they want to move up over the weeks and months. Over the days, they're all kind of at areas that would make sense maybe to pull back a little bit, but you never know. If you're waiting on that, it might never come, and you might just be left waiting, but time will tell. See you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.